Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to knit a beautiful cowl. I also have some more picture I post on my Facebook and Instagram. I will put the link in description below. You can go check it out. For this project, I'm using buttercream brand, thick and thin. And this is size 6 super bulky yarn, and 52% wool and 48% acrylic. And this is the color, and I just used one skein for this project. This yarn is really interesting. I think it's really beautiful, really cool, and they also have a lot of beautiful color. And I will put the link in description below. You can check it out. I bought this from Joanne. And knitting needle size 8mm. This is circular needle, 24 inches. We will work in circle. And yarn needle and scissors and marker. For this cowl, it's very easy to make. You just know how to cast on, knit, purl, and then bite off, and you're good to go. But if you don't know how to do all that, I also have video tutorial for that, and I will put all the link in description below. You can check it out. And we will make in round and 2 row repeat, which is knit 1 row and then purl 1 row. We're gonna keep doing that over and over. For me, I use 1 skein of yarn and I have this much left. But if you want your cowl to be longer, you can add more rows and you will need more than 1 skein. And like I said, this very easy pattern, but the yarn is really important. It turned out beautiful because the yarn it make a lot different. But you can use any kind of yarn you like, but it might turn out different. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna use long tail cast on, and I'm gonna make slip knot. You can use any kind of cast on you like, and if you don't know how to make long tail cast on, I have video tutorial for that, and I will put the link in description below. You can check it out. And the slip knot on my needle right now is count as 1 stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna cast on 70 stitches. So now I have 1 stitch already. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you not cast on too tight. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep casting on till I have 70 stitches, and I will meet you guys there. So now I have 70 stitches cast on. Before we join the round, make sure all the loop that we cast on not twist. Okay, everything inside. See, all the loop have to be inside, like so. Sorry, my yarn is kinda difficult to see the loop. Okay, make sure it's not twist, and we're gonna start join the round. And I hold the working yarn on my right needle. Okay, like so. And then before we join the round, we're gonna place the marker into the right needle, and we're gonna start row 1, which is knit. Insert my needle into the front loop, and then wrap the yarn around my right needle and put up a loop and drop the stitch. Okay, and we're just gonna knit into each stitch. Do the same. It doesn't matter you hold your yarn on the right hand or the left hand, it's gonna be the same. So I'm more comfortable with holding my yarn into the left hand. So okay, I just gonna hold my yarn on my left hand and keep knitting. You're gonna knit into each stitch till you reach the marker, and I will meet you guys there. Now I come to the marker stitch, which is the end of row 1, and I gonna slip the marker from the left needle to the right needle, and then we gonna start row 2, which is purl. So for purling, you're gonna bring the yarn to the back like so, and then purl. Oops, sorry. And then make sure, or when you purl, the yarn have to be on the back. Just keep pulling. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold the yarn into my left hand, so I'm comfortable that way. It's the same thing, okay? I'm just gonna keep pulling into each stitch. You're gonna repeat that till you reach the marker, which is the end of row 2, and I will meet you guys there. I'm in the end of row 2. I'm gonna bring the marker from the left needle to the right needle. And then for row 3, we're gonna repeat row 1, which is knit. And then row 4, we're gonna repeat row 2, which is purl. Like I said, this pattern is 2 row repeat, so pretty easy. So I'm just gonna knit. I'm just gonna keep knitting into each stitch till I come to the end of row 3, and then I can start row 4, which is purl, and then I'm gonna keep purling into each stitch, and then start row 5 with knit. See, it's pretty easy pattern, right? So I'm just gonna keep repeat row 1 and row 2 over and over till I'm almost run out of my yarn for one skein. Make sure you're gonna have enough yarn for bind off too, if you wanna do like mine. But you can add more rows, but you might need more than one skein of yarn. Okay, so I will meet you guys when we're gonna start bind off. This is what my cowl look like, and this is the yarn that I have left for bind off. And we're gonna start bind off. Like I said, you can add more rows if you like, but you might need more than one skein of yarn. So to start bind off, I'm gonna bring the marker from the left needle to the right needle, and then I'm gonna knit into the first 2 stitches. And then when you have 2 stitches, you're gonna pass the first stitch over the second stitch. And then I'm gonna knit into next stitch. And then I have 2 stitches. I'm gonna pass the first stitch over the second stitch. I always use my index finger to hold the stitch. And then I'm gonna knit. I'm gonna pass the first stitch over the second stitch. Make sure you not bind off too tight. And then I'm gonna knit into next stitch. And then I'm gonna pass the first stitch over the second stitch. And I'm gonna knit. I'm gonna pass the first stitch over the second stitch. See? You just keep doing this till you have 2 stitches left, and I will meet you guys there. Now I have 2 stitches left on my left needle. I'm gonna knit, and then we just do the same, but I just wanna show you guys. And then knit to the last stitch and pass, just stitch over, do exactly the same. And then we have 1 loop, 1 stitch on the right needle. We're gonna cut the yarn, leave a little bit of tail for weaving the end, and then pull this loop up, and then bring the yarn to that loop, and we're done. And we need to weave the end. I bring my yarn needle, I'm gonna insert my needle into this stitch, so close up the hole there. And now you're just gonna hide the tail. Make sure it's secure, and then you just trim the tail and you're done. Same right here, you just gonna weave the end and then make sure it's secure, and then you trim the tail. Okay, congratulations! It's pretty easy. Okay, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye bye.